Well. We have a sponsored video today, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. Do you like the new angle? Do you like seeing up my nose? Anyway, in this sponsored video, which you could also pay me to make a video too, we're going to look at Google McDougal, Alphabet stock. So Alphabet is a very large company, over $1 trillion market cap, I think $1.5 trillion. And it's one of the largest holdings in my ETF. As a matter of fact, I believe 2 to 3% of my entire portfolio is in Google. And I actually think the company is fantastic. But I personally don't want to buy Google stock as an individual stock because it is already highly represented in my total world ETF. And it's there for a good reason because it's a fantastic company. Let's go ahead and check out Google McDougal. Here it is. Alphabet Inc. class. We're gonna look at the Class C shares. They have multiple classes of shares. But basically, Google is not Google. It's actually Alphabet. Alphabet's a holding company that has Google as well as a bunch of other business ventures. But Google's basically the big dog that's inside or under the umbrella of Alphabet. So looking at Alphabet as a whole, it's got a $1.62 trillion market cap. This is an enormous freaking company, okay? It's got trailing revenue of almost $290 billion and net income of $61 billion. Highly profitable, massive freaking company. We look at PE ratio. It's currently 27. I don't really care about the PE ratio that much because it can be high, but you could still be getting a good value for the money that you're spending on the stock. It's all about how quickly the company is going to grow. And then it has a forward PE of 20 with no dividend. How disappointing. Now, I made my opinions clear on dividends, okay? Dividends are taxed. They don't provide any extra income. They don't provide any extra excess return. It's just a swap for stock price versus income, and you pay taxes. I'm not a big fan of dividends. If I wanted to buy Google, I would still potentially buy it, even if it did pay a dividend, but I'm not going to cry because it doesn't have a dividend, okay? This is the problem with dividend investors and whatever. We'll talk about that later. Anyway. So the stock is up year to date 42%, and it's up 6% over the last year. And over the last 5 years, it's up 107%. So this thing has absolutely obliterated the VT ETF. If I had bought this stock instead of VT, I would be a very rich man right now. I'd actually probably be retired if I put all my money in Google, but I don't do that. Okay, so the stock ran up massively during the pandemic. Ad rates were through the roof. Money was cheap. It was insane. Then the stock sold off all the way down to $88, which, funny enough, before the pandemic, it was the high was like, what, $76? It almost got down to, not quite, but to almost where it was before the start of the pandemic. So the stock, in my opinion, almost normalized. This big blip right here, I would almost count that as like, that's fake. Like that, this should have never happened. This is like a once in a lifetime scenario where, money was sloshing around the financial system. Stimmy checks were flying everywhere. It was just a very weird time. But the stock is now slightly recovered, and it's at $128. So let's go ahead and just look at the overarching financials. And then I'm going to tell you at the end of this video why I personally like Google stock. And it's actually, I would say, my favorite Magnificent Seven or FANG stock. What is up with my internet? Oh my God. I'm never doing a live stream again. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. It's not even freaking loading. This is so fucking stupid. Can you guys even hear me? Okay, here we go. What is wrong with this website? Financials. There we go. What a freaking pain. Anyway, that's why you don't do live streams. Anyway, revenue growth. Massive, insane revenue growth. This company has grown revenue consistently. You notice at the end of each year, the revenue goes up more. It jumps up. That's because this company is primarily ad-based, ad revenue-based. As a matter of fact, YouTube is owned by Alphabet, Google. Did you know that? That's right. Companies that make money primarily from ads, they make the most of their money from the year at the end of the year, the last 3 months of the year. And I've learned this because if you think about it, when do companies think people are most likely going to buy stuff? around the holiday season. So you can see there's going to be a spike at the end of each year, and it's totally normal for the revenue to fall the month after that, or the quarter after. It's not an unusual thing to see revenue spike in the fourth quarter of any year and then fall the next quarter. But that doesn't mean that the company's collapsing. It's totally normal. But even then, the company's been growing revenue significantly. Even for us being in a recession, I mean, are we even in a recession? Do we have 2 negative quarters of GDP growth? Even with interest rates high, the economy's still doing decently well. But overall, we're in bad times, and we had a bear market. They've still managed to grow their revenue. So, they're doing fine. Okay, so revenue growth is solid, especially over the last couple of years. If we go back down and look at margins, they've maintained their margins. Their gross margin, while it's down maybe a couple percentage points from, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, it's still in the high 50s. Operating margin is 29 in the most recent quarter, but they have pretty decent operating margins in the mid to high 20s. Profit margin, also very solid. And free cash flow margin, very, very solid. So insanely profitable business that is growing revenues. They're even buying back shares a little bit. Look at that. Look at those share buybacks. Man, why would you not buy Google stock? Unless it's already represented in your ETF. Now, let's go ahead and look at the balance sheet. So we're actually going to go, we'll look at this one. So the first thing I noticed looking at Google is they have cash and cash equivalents of $118 billion. That's a lot of cash on their balance sheet. If we go down to their total debt, they have less debt than cash. So they could theoretically pay off, if they took all their cash and short-term investments, they sold them, they could literally pay off all their debt. They're doing okay financially, okay? They have total current assets of $168 billion and current liabilities of $77 billion. They're not going bankrupt. And a big chunk of their current liabilities is deferred revenue. That's future revenue that's going to hit the income statement. Long-term debt, it looks like they've been packing on debt. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe they're buying it for capital assets. Let's see. Yeah, so they're packing on some long-term debt, but it's nothing crazy, okay? The vast majority of their long-term assets are property, plant, and equipment, long-term investments. Goodwill and intangibles are not a huge part of their long-term assets. Overall, this is a very, very solid balance sheet. Okay, I don't think Google is going bankrupt. So let's go ahead and look at the cash flow. Operating cash flow, they've been steadily growing operating cash flow pretty handsomely. Capital expenditures, nothing more than normal. I mean, they've been increasing it, but they're a bigger business. Acquisitions, looks like they had one pretty significant acquisition in 2022. But more recently, they haven't acquired any other businesses. Change in investments, don't worry about that. Okay, so they're making investments, mostly in capital expenditures. And they are buying back shares. Look at that. Look at all the money they're spending buying back shares. When you see a negative $17 billion, that's a lot of shares they're buying back. And conveniently enough, they're actually buying them back. Well, they bought back some when the stock skyrocketed, but they were also buying back shares when it dropped too. So overall, can't really hate on their financial statements. Now, when we look at their ratios, let's see. Their price to earnings ratio, which, like I said, is not the end all be all, is probably in range, probably a little bit higher than it has been over the last couple of years. Why is that? Well, I think people are thinking that AI and because Google spends a lot on research. I think they're probably thinking that AI could definitely benefit Google significantly in the future. They probably are pretty well positioned to benefit and make money from AI. I'm not disputing that. And they have they're very dominant in a lot of industries, which we're going to see in a second, which is insane. Okay. So basically I would say they're probably a little bit more pricey than more than a little pricey than they were before the pandemic. But overall, the expensiveness could be justified if they somehow make a ton of money from AI in the future. But even without AI, this business is very dominant in a lot of industries that are very high margin. I think they're going to be okay. Okay. Not insanely expensive pricings when it comes to price to free cash flow and price to operating cash flow. This is probably one of my favorite large cap tech companies personally is Google. So overall, their financial statements are pretty solid. Now let's look at some of the business segments of Google. And this is why I personally like this stock. Okay, so you can see that Alphabet has a bunch of different, sections. We have Google Services, Google Cloud, and other bets, which is smaller components of Alphabet. Let's look at some of the products, and let's look how dominant Google is, Alphabet is in some of these products. So we know Android, whatever, Chrome. Okay, let's talk about Chrome. Google Chrome. What am I using right now? Google Chrome. Well, if you go up and pull up Google Chrome, okay, or you look at browser usage, Google dominates. Like, Chrome is used by, 80%? Like, holy freaking crap, okay? Here's some statistics for this visiting. This is like one website. But you can see that Google Chrome is pretty heavily used. Google Chrome is probably the number one browser. So, number one, they're very dominant in browsers, okay? Hardware, Google Maps. Let's go look at Google Maps. I have that up somewhere. Google Maps. 1.8 billion people use Google Maps. The next one is Move It, which I've never used them. I've never heard of in my entire life. And then the next competitor is Apple Maps, which is 500 million users. Largest user base, 1.8 billion people use Google Maps. Crazy, okay? Google Play, Google Search. I didn't pull up statistics for every one of these, but just to show you how dominant this company actually is in a lot of different industries, okay? Search engine market. Google has 92% of the search engine market. Bing, which I don't know why anybody would use Bing, 3%, and these other clownish little search engines, okay? 92% of the browser market is controlled by Google, of the search engine market. I mean, the word to search is synonymous with Google. You Google stuff, okay? And YouTube. One of the most dominant things there is, okay, when it comes to online streaming services. I've heard of like Vimeo. I've heard of, Rumble. Rumble's like garbage. Like it's such a small fry compared to YouTube. And then Google has Google Cloud. Now, Google Cloud, they're not that dominant in the cloud industry, okay? So we can see this is some recent data from the cloud. You got AWS, you got Azure, and then you got Google Cloud as looks like 11% of the worldwide market. So Amazon obviously has a lockdown on the cloud, followed by Microsoft. But Google, I mean, they're still the number 3 player out there, but they are insanely dominant in a lot of industries. And if we ever get back into a scenario where interest rates get cut again and the economy's booming and, money's sloshing around the system and companies have more money to spend on ads, I think Google is going to be very well positioned to make a lot of money. So overall, like, I have nothing against this company. I like it. If I was an individual stock picker, I would consider buying it at the right price. I'm not saying now is the right price, but there's a lot of good stuff going on with Google. And I think if you had bought it, if you had been like looking at the company, back when, I don't know why this stupid thing isn't loading, back when it was trading for around $88, maybe not such a bad buy, okay? Now, I mean, maybe it's a little pricey. Maybe there's some AI hype built into it, but in the long run, this is a fantastic company, okay? I'm just personally not buying it because it's so highly represented in the VT ETF. So very dominant, very profitable. They have a lot going for them. They're, they have the potential to benefit massively from AI. Ad rates, ad revenue will probably massively increase, at some point in the future. We had a little bit of a recession in ad revenue, and I know that because I'm a YouTuber. But I think eventually it will recover and come back. I don't think the ad industry is going anywhere anytime soon. So overall, that's my thoughts on Google stock. I have nothing against it. I just personally don't buy it because it's largely represented in my index fund. Okay. Now, of course, I got to pump my Patreon. So my Patreon gives you access to my Discord. What's in my Discord? Well, a bunch of creators that you know. But really what I'm selling is access to me. If you want to talk to me, if you want to meet me in person and ask me questions bi-weekly, and you want to attend private live streams, you can join my Patreon. What's not going to be in there is stock tips or how to crush the market. But if you want access to a CPA, you have a question about taxes, you have a question about financial statements, you can literally reach out to me and you can actually meet me in person if you sign up for it. So check it out in the link. buy my course too. I actually do have a financial statement course. Sup, strong man. Never mind that nonsense. Buy some EBIT tomorrow morning. GS, Goldman Sachs. I'm good. Google McDougal. I am from the future. Just to warn everyone, the VT will only go down and never recover. Thank you, sir. Thank you for warning us. I'm still buying VT. Greetings from Sweden. What's up, man? How's the weather? Is it cold in freaking August in Sweden? So the world economy will collapse. I don't think so. Let's see. Shirtless strongman. I have to be professional now. Okay, I'm a professional man now. I don't roast grifters unless something crazy. I'm a good boy. Okay, I'm a good behaved boy. Let's see. No. Strongman, you were the chosen one, meant to destroy the grifters and bring balance to YouTube, not join them with your Discord. Okay, look. I'm being dead serious here. You can't stop the grifters. They're unstoppable. I've evolved and I've learned from 3 years of being on YouTube, warning people. It's made some people have been helped by what I've done. I'm not going to deny that. But overall, you cannot stop people from listening to Jeremy Lefebvre or these other clowns on YouTube. They're going to listen to them because they want easy money. There's nothing I can do, okay? So I would rather grow my channel going into the future by not roasting. Even if my views temporarily go down, I don't care, okay? I have other ways to make money. But if my views go down, whatever. But I want to grow my channel actually covering stuff that, Jesus, what was that? I want to cover stuff that I want to talk about and that I think will actually help people. I want to encourage people to buy an index fund. Doesn't have to be VT instead of buying individual stocks. But I'm not doing the roasting crap anymore. It stresses me out and it doesn't do anything. Hey, Grifter, when are you starting the OnlyFans? My audience is 98% male. I don't think my OnlyFans would work. Just an opinion there. Buddy, I've got a USD invested here. You are killing me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you, Alex. I bought Google and Amazon at 88 in the year-to-date window. I'm sitting pretty. I mean, at that point, it probably wasn't the worst buy. Okay, but me personally, like, it's a large holding in VT. I don't care. Okay, I don't get FOMO watching Google go up 40%. I don't give a crap. It's in my index. I literally own the stock. People think it's VT, but in VT is Google or Alphabet stock. Let's see. 13 USD. Man, you got a huge position in there. The Griff Bucks King. Can't win, join. See, I don't think my Discord is a grift, and here's why. I'm not selling any lies. I'm literally just saying, hey, if you want access to me, a CPA, join the Discord. You want to chat with me? You want to meet me? You want to hang out with the group of people that are in there? Join the Discord. I'm not offering you stock tips. I'm not offering you promises of future riches. It's literally access to me. I am the product. You understand that? It's not the stonks. It's me. Strongman, you're losing hair by hymns. I love how people call me bald. Look at my hair. People call me bald. Like, you're bald, Strongman. Okay, I'm bald. Whatever. All right, so that's it. Google stock. Have nothing against it. I think it's going to be a fantastic company for a long time. And, yeah. You're asking me if you're writing another book. Everyone loved the first one. We want more. I am. It's going to come out probably at the end of the year. Let's see. I'm just giving you crap, but I will be calling you the Griff Bucks King going, it's fine. Like, I'm not going to ban people for, like, jokes and stuff, but I know real trolling from clowning, okay? I don't want to deal with these stupid trolls because there are people that they're so stupid. It pisses me off how dumb some people are on YouTube. I can't stand it anymore. I'm tired of arguing with people about dividends. I'm tired of arguing with people about VT. I'm just done. Like, if you're dumb, go watch Chris Sane. I don't care. I am done with that stress. When is your Discord live? So I'm actually doing a next weekend at 9 a.m. on Saturday Eastern. I will be doing a meet and greet with members of the highest tier, of course. That's why you pay more so you can meet me. Cool. Now, can we roast some stock YouTuber? No, I'm not. Dog man, my strong man. Haha, take care, bro. All right, guys, that's it. Have a wonderful day. I got more videos to make. I've been making so much money. I've been making so many grift bucks off of individual stock reviews. And if you send me $50, I'll make a video about your stock. I'm not going to tell you to buy it or sell it. I'll look at the financial statements for you. Got no problem with that whatsoever. Joseph Carlson bought Google on the low 80s. Good for, I did too. Did you know I bought Google in the 80s too through my index fund? I did. Crazy. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Cheers.